You've spent your entire life believing the US dollar is just money. A neutral tool, a simple medium of exchange. Something we all use, trust, and depend on. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the dollar wasn't created to serve the world, but to control it? A weapon so powerful that it can crash economies, topple governments, and punish nations without a single bullet, without a single soldier, without ever being called a weapon. Today, we're revealing how that weapon was built and why the entire world is trapped inside it. To understand the dollar's rise, you must step into 1944. World War II is ending. Cities are gone. Banks destroyed. Gold reserves empty. Countries desperate. But one nation stands stronger than ever. The United States. Factories booming. Gold vaults filled. Military unmatched. The world needs rebuilding, and America is the only country with the resources to help. So 44 nations gather at the Bretton Woods conference, and together they rewrite the rules of the global economy. The agreement is simple on paper. The US dollar becomes the world's anchor currency because it is fully backed by gold. Fair, logical, stable. But hidden inside this system was a design no one recognized. The more the world recovered, the more it depended on the dollar. And the more it depended on the dollar, the more power flowed to the United States. Dependence wasn't a mistake. It was the foundation. As nations rebuilt, they needed loans. They needed imports. They needed trade. And every solution required dollars. The US became the planet's biggest lender, banker, and supplier. The world grew, and the dollar grew with it. But beneath this growth was a secret flaw. America promised every dollar was backed by gold, yet the US government began printing more dollars than the gold it held. A quiet imbalance. A hidden lie. And soon, it would be exposed. By the late 1960s, other nations suspected the US was cheating the system, but only one nation had the courage to challenge the dollar's illusion. France. It demanded real gold in exchange for its dollar, shiploads of it. If other countries followed, the entire US financial structure would collapse. So, in 1971, President Richard Nixon went on television and delivered the moment that changed money forever. The United States is closing the gold window. The dollar was no longer linked to gold, no longer bound by limits, no longer money in the classic sense. It was now powered only by trust, an American force. This was the moment the dollar transformed from a currency into a geopolitical weapon. After abandoning gold, America needed a new way to guarantee global dollar demand. The solution came through a secret deal with Saudi Arabia. Saudi oil, and eventually, all OPEC oil would be sold only in US dollars. This created the Petrodollar, the backbone of modern global finance. Every country needed oil, which meant every country needed dollars, which meant the US controlled the very bloodstream of global trade. This wasn't an economic strategy. It was a strategic chokehold. Now the US had a new type of power, the ability to economically punish any nation on earth. Through sanctions, through swift restrictions, through freezing assets, through interest rate shocks. Iran, Russia, and Cuba, Venezuela, many nations have felt the force of this invisible weapon. The US didn't need to invade. It only needed to cut off dollar access. Europe created the euro. China pushed the yuan. BRICS discussed alternative reserve systems. Countries began buying gold at the fastest rate in history. But despite all efforts, most reserves remain in dollars. Most international trade uses dollars. Most global loans are priced in dollars. The dollar's dominance isn't just economic. It's structural and nearly impossible to escape. 3 takeaways. 1. The dollar's power comes from global dependence, not gold. 2. Removing gold allowed the US to weaponize money like never before. 3. Any nation outside the dollar system faces financial pressure or isolation. The weapon the US built is powerful, but dangerously fragile. If the dollar ever collapses, the global system built around it collapses too. If this changed the way you see money and power, subscribe for more hidden financial history. Because understanding the weapon is the only way to defend yourself from it.